Let's go!
Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
I do think that worked, Andrea Catania, Diego, and everyone. And my co-host is going to appear in
What about your co-host? Happy Thankful Thursday to all. Bella, you're cutting in out a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Perfect. Okay, hello, Andrea Catania, Bella Verita, of course, Diego. Thank everybody for being here today on Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence on Thankful Thursday. We are exploring the superpower of integrous influence, and Bella, Andrea, as always, has assembled a group of extraordinary, magical humans. Who's here?
Sean, we have 9 extraordinary human beings on Andrea Catania's Business Leaders and Impactors Heart of Influence. And first, from Mexico City, Mexico, founded a company on disrupting leather good industries, reducing animal suffering, that is beautiful, creating a new fashion line industry as a whole to be free of abuse, mistreatment, or restrictions of animals' innate liberties, lawyer focus on sustainable development and environmental justice, committed to environmental responsibility, understanding the importance of the health and survival of our earth. Let's welcome to the show, Jimena Suarez.
Jimena, is that correct?
Jimena, yeah. Jimena.
Jimena, welcome to the Heart of Influence. As you probably heard, Plato, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour, and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a while. So Jimena, we asked to kick this game off with a fun fact. It could be something adventurous, exciting, a little bit something you're proud of. It's a headline, not a story, Jimena. So please, Jimena, what is your headline fun fact?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a mariachi singer.
Whoa! But now you're just this impact player in business in all the ways. Is mariachi singing perhaps in your future somewhere?
Hopefully. It's definitely in my present, in the shower.
That's it. Mariachi singing in the shower. Let's go get it. Bella, Jimena gets it. Let's go.
Jimena gets it. Next up, outsourced CFO for public companies and private ones on their way to public, originally wanting to be a baseball player, uniquely drawn to the statistics of sports, using the love of numbers, now practicing CPA for 28 years, always sees the order of things in accounting. Let's welcome to the show, Elliot Berman.
Is it Elliot?
Yeah, Sean, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Elliot, thanks for being here. What position did you play in baseball?
It depends. So growing up as a kid, the big guy can always pitch until he hits everybody he faces in practice. So then they move you. So I did a lot of first base, shortstop, third base.
Cool. Well, welcome to the party. And what's your fun fact, Elliot?
Well, that is part of the fun fact. When I was a little kid, I'm originally from Baltimore, and I wrote to the Baltimore Orioles. My favorite player was Eddie Murray, the greatest switch hitter of all time. Even if you like Mickey Mantle, I'm sorry. So I wrote to them. They sent me back, and I, had a whole detailed explanation why I liked them so much. They sent me a signed picture, and I always loved baseball. When I moved to Florida in 1999, I actually started playing semi-pro baseball. But it turns out I'm better at spreadsheets than hitting 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. So,
Elliot, that's awesome. So thank you for being here. By the way, Eddie Murray made his way to the Mets at some point.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, with his 500-plus career home runs. Elliot, thanks for being here. Bella Vreda, Eddie Murray, class act. Yes, let's go.
Eddie Murray is a class act. That is a super fun fact. And next up, from Woodbury, New York, Senior VP at a real estate planning multifamily office for the past 3 years, leading business development initiatives renowned for innovative solutions for ultra high net worth families and individuals working closely with clients and their trusted advisors, a data-driven holistic approach to managing estate and business, delivery truly comprehensive estate and business continuity plans. Let's welcome to the show, John Litke.
John, thank you for being on Andrew Catania's Heart of Influence today and joining us on a Thankful Thursday. And John, what's your fun fact, please?
So my fun fact is, even though I've been golfing since I was 10 years old, only recently I've got into my lowest point at a 1.5 index. So I've been somehow figured it out recently and have been playing really well. So that's my fun fact.
John, I'm hearing that you're seeing what you didn't see about golf. Is that what I'm hearing, John?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome job, John. Bella, John's been unblinded. Let's go.
John has been unblinded. And next up from Boulder, Colorado, founded and grew a successful ventures, including a commercial real estate firm and the largest nightclub in Florida, leveraged his intuitive grasp of nanotechnology for the U.S. Department of Energy and the DoD, founded a publicly traded company, filed a patent in solar tech, and founded a new company driving sustainable revenue in renewable energy. Let's welcome to the show, Stuart Birchill.
Stuart,
I'm actually in Naples, Florida. I used to be in Boulder, Colorado. I'm in Naples, Florida now. Go ahead.
Thank you for that, Stuart. An eclectic background of success. And your fun fact, Stuart.
My fun fact is I am a college dropout who's not a veterinarian because I failed Chemistry 101 at University of Florida. Fast forward, I end up getting invited to do some research I just met some people at Santee National Laboratory, and I'm sharing lab space with Lockheed Martin and Intel. I don't know what I did, but I got offended and I argued with them about the term they used for me, which was, "You're the idiot savant of nanotechnology." And I was like, why do I have to be the idiot savant? Why can't I just be the savant? So that is my one fun fact of, instead of appreciating the compliment, I argued with them about the lingo.
Well, thank you for that, Stuart. We call that patterns of mismatching, but obviously your mismatching has led you to some powerful, profound distinctions and success. Thank you, Stuart, for being here today. Bella, see, appropriate mismatching is an incredible pathway to success. Let's go.
Couldn't agree more, Sean Callagy. And next up from Sedona, Arizona, travels globally speaking to leaders on selfless service of God, love, and the well-being of Earth and all of humanity. A highly accomplished CEO, entrepreneur, M&A leader, board member, and humanitarian leadership expert across consumer products, beverages, cannabis, hospitality, health, wellness, distribution, and tech industries. Let's welcome to the show, Smoke Wallen.
Smoke, correct?
Smoke.
Yes.
Yeah, Smoke, super cool. Energy Vortex is present, no doubt. Red Rocks, all of it. Slide Rock State Park, jumping off of mountains and cliffs. Please, Smoke, what's your fun fact?
Fun fact is, as I have gone through my spiritual awakening, I started writing poetry and publishing it. So I've got a lot of poems out there.
That's awesome, dude. Brother, congratulations on your journey of intentionality and consciousness and for being here today. Thank you, Smoke.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bella, Smoke's ready. Let's go.
Smoke's ready. Consciousness is
Oh,
present.
wait, I think, Bella, that would be your dad's favorite name of anyone ever, but back to you.
I am sure it is. I am definitely sure it is.
It got a lot better after middle school.
I bet it did. I bet it did. Next up, from Palm Beach, Florida, hotel development with additional ownership and operations in cannabis, risk management, beverage, and appeal. Knowledge and expertise spanning multiple sectors, including cruises, hotel, restaurant, events, retail, and winery operations, a proven track record in problem solving and conflict resolution. Let's welcome to the show, Charles Whitaker.
Hello.
Charles, thank you for being on Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence. And please, Charles, your fun fact.
Absolutely. It's good to see you, Sean. And I'm very happy to be here with everybody. And nice to meet everybody. My fun fact is when I'm not working long hours like everybody else on the show, I probably spend the rest of those hours on a golf course. Apparently, I need to take some lessons from John because I'm not a 1.5, but a 15.2 index. But my fun fact is I did play 3 rounds of golf in one day, and more than once. So that's 54 holes in one day. I did use a golf cart, so I didn't walk, but maybe I'll try that next.
Go big or go home. 3
That's
rounds
right.
of golf, Bella. The only thing more exhausting than 3 rounds of golf is if Bella decides there's a lot to talk about. So thank you. Bella, let's go.
Really, that's what you're going with, Sean Callaghy. Yeah, I know, and I know you've only been talking for like 12 hours today, but I have like 12 things I need to talk to you about after the show. So I can't wait to call you.
Yes, I've got to walk 4 rounds of golf first. Thank you.
Next up, from Scottsdale, Arizona, licensed in insurance with a passion for helping people plan their retirement, contracted with several top-rated companies, loves the challenge of finding a stable source of income to add to any Social Security benefits, teamed up a 45-year-old veteran of business, designing plans and estate planner and seasoned CPA with 30 years of experience providing the best advice and support possible. Let's welcome to the show, Gary Coleshill.
Gary from Scottsdale, I think Camelback Mountain. Welcome to the party. Thanks for being here, and please, your fun facts.
Well, I don't really have anything that interesting. The only thing I can think of was that when I immigrated to the States in 1992, I immigrated on Friday the 13th because the airfares were much cheaper and I could get tickets. But apart from that, and it's been lucky for me, so I'm not complaining. That's about it, really. I think.
Sure. Gary, I thought you were from Brooklyn. You're not from New York.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm from a little way from Brooklyn. That's several thousand miles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is blessed because of Gary. Come on, Bella.
No, that's right. Don't
That
fear
is
Friday
right.
the 13th.
Next up, from Mexico City, Mexico, CEO of iHeartRadio Mexico, the #1 digital radio platform in Mexico, partnered with one of the biggest and most prestigious radio groups in the country, the youngest president ever of Mexico City Radio Association at the ripe old age of 29. Let's welcome to the show, Diego. I really practiced rolling my R's, Diego. How'd I do?
You're great.
Yeah, Diego, long time no speak. How are you, brother? And please, your fun fact.
Everything amazing here in Mexico City, Coach. My fun fact is I love nature and I love camping, and I don't get to camp as much as I would. But last weekend, I did my very first solo overnight in a beautiful forest in Mexico. So that was a little scary, but very, very rewarding and freeing. So that's my fun fact.
Well, outstanding, Diego. And what was the wildest animal that you saw in your camping trip, if any?
I saw a rabbit, but there was this moment when it was turning dark. There were a lot of fireflies around. So it was beautiful and it was magical. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And Diego and everybody, I was in the ocean. Spectacular weekend of surfing and adventure. And I saw all kinds of wild creatures in the sea. And none of them, Diego, were crazier than Bella Vrita. Bella, you.
Best. I appreciate that. But I did bring the calm waters to Long Beach Island this particular weekend. So I don't know where we're going with that.
Spectacular waves and all the things, of course.
Yeah. Which I brought. When I brought those spectacular
I am not. We're straight from Sedona's energy vortex. You brought them directly to Long Beach Island.
Exactly. And on that note, from Nutley, New Jersey, the deal attorney, having led over 200 company market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built a multi-million-dollar solo practice from her basement as a single mom of 2 young daughters, proudly serving for over a decade on the board of the National Investment Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources. Let's welcome to her show, our producer,
Andrea Catania, AC in the building, 7 different ways, 200 times going public in the capital market transactions. Andrea, please, your fun fact.
So I grew up a Yankee fan until I met my first husband. And before we got married, I converted to being a Met fan. And I sent him, what a great wife I was. I sent him and his dad to Ulti Met Week in 1986. And the 69 lineup in Port St. Lucie trained with this group of guys who all had talent, but never really made it to the big show. So that's my fun fact.
And you not only sent them to the 69 Mets, the 86 Mets won the...
Yes, they did. It was a great year for the Mets.
Amazing. Andrea Catania, yes, thank you. A fun footnote, our partner at Caligula Law runs our medical revenue recovery division. His nephew, Harrison, is the center fielder currently for the Mets, Harrison Bader, who happened to have been released by the Yankees and then hit a home run on Wednesday night and Thursday night, or Tuesday night and Wednesday night against the Yankees this week, with a little bit of, bite back, and the Mets made it back to 500 after a disastrous, about a month and a half. So, Bella Vrita, I'm going to introduce you. This extraordinary woman, our co-host in her more than 800th episode of The Heart of Influence, began her career in influence selling crafts on her parents' front lawn as an 8-year-old. She progressed as a 19-year-old to being a 7-figure business generator in the space of network marketing. That's not easy to do. But then at 24, 25, and 26, she three-peated like Michael Jordan, except not in basketball, because she's only 5'3", but instead in business brokerage. In a male-dominated industry, in fact, she was the first woman ever to be the #1 business broker in Nevada, let alone do it 3 straight times. And at 24 years old, she was the youngest person ever to do it. She began to train entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies and all sorts of amazing things. And in 2019, every sales team she worked with, and I mean every, doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions, published author, philanthropist, raising 8 figures, more than $10 million over the last 2 years and change with the Unblinded team. And in 2023, in her greatest journey yet, courageously, publicly, inspirationally battled cancer and won let's welcome to her show, the woman that put the heart in the Heart of Influence, Bella Barita. Bella Barita, wonderful job. You're not crazy. You're just, I don't know, out of control, wild, and nuts. Yes, Bella, please, what is your fun fact?
Yeah, just drop me into a jungle anywhere, and I'll survive. But I'm gonna go with the fun fact. Yes, I'm gonna go with the fun fact that I have 2 published books, and I just started my 3rd one on my plane this morning from Newark to Denver, Colorado this morning. So soon to be a 3-peating in the book publishing department too, Sean Callaghan.
Yes, as long as it's not about me, we're all good.
It is definitely not that much about you, but let's
read it. No. So let's go do the things.
Let's go do the thing. But wait, Sean, let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghan. He beats world champions like Bet Keat at body surfing competitions. He's only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. And in fact, the state of New Jersey thought he was so extraordinary that they actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times, soon to be MasterCard. And when he's not busy flying around, speaking on stages in front of thousands and thousands of people, he is an incredible philanthropist that has raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine in the last 2 years through sustainable giving. Let's welcome to the stage my co-host, Mr. Sean Callaghan.
Thank you, Andy, for Tim. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's an honor and privilege to be here on a Thankful Thursday. And I often go with, I'm a blind man that has taught sighted people, say, I can't see anything, I am blind, that has taught sighted people to ski, surf, and scuba dive in the most extreme of conditions. But for today, I had a couple of Arizona references, so I think I'll go with this. In a case where we were offered $0, we received 8 figures in compensatory and 8 figures in punitive damages from a jury in Arizona, which was Arizona's largest jury verdict for about a 7-year period from somewhere around 2016, I think, into 2023. A verdict was a bit higher than that came down, I think, in 2023. But that is my fun fact for today, as I became a quasi-permanent resident of Arizona for 5 years of my life. Bella, let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. And so what are we doing here, Sean?
We are exploring the superpower of integrous influence. We're not talking pitching, hooking, closing. Yuck, who wants that? But what does it look like when sophisticated people coming from their hearts and integrity open the listening of other sophisticated people? So Bella, we're going to explore that with a 3-minute conversation with you, where they go from hello to yes. And the hello to yes isn't a sale. It could be any yes that you're seeking. Bella can play an ideal client, a philanthropic or for-profit fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody super famous like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, anybody they want to go from hello to yes with. And we're not looking for Shark Tank, Wolf of Wall Street, or Boiler Room. This is not a rush to get somewhere. It could be just a yes for a longer conversation. Bella, please, who's going first?
Let's kick this off with John.
John, who would you like Bella to be?
All right, so I would like Bella to be direct referral from Sean. Sean said it was okay for me to use his name when I called her, because he's confident with the work that we've done for him. But Bella's going to have a main rebuttal that she is currently working with an attorney on her estate planning, because that's what we do. We help out with estate planning. So her big rebuttal is that she's going to be working currently on her estate planning with an attorney.
Ooh.
All right.
There we go.
Bella, you got it. Take us in.
All right. Hi, is this Bella?
It is.
Hi, Bella. John Lidke from Heritage Strategies. How are you today?
I'm doing great, John. How about yourself?
Another day in paradise over here, Bella. Another day in paradise. Reason for my call, our mutual friend Sean from Heart of Influence, great person as we both know, thought it would be beneficial for me to reach out to you because he recently was on a meeting with me and saw the scope of my company's work and thought it would provide, tremendous value for you. So I know you're super busy right now, probably only have 3 minutes, but is it all right if I take a minute to talk about the scope of our work and what we do, and to see if it's something that you're interested in. We could, schedule some time later if you agree.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, because I have something that I've been working with. I'm really nervous about just like switching. We've been with them for a long time, but you did come highly recommended, and so I was willing to have the conversation.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, at the end of the day, basically, we consider ourselves an estate planning multifamily office, actually one of the only in the country. And what we do is we'll actually work with you, your trusted advisors, attorneys, accountants, investment advisors, and serve as more of a fiduciary than an attorney, because we're not actually attorneys over here. And then what we'll do is we'll hold these advisors of yours accountable for the scope of their work, so that when you are, actually, drafting documents stuff, we'll make sure that the execution is done correctly for the estate plan. And, through this process, we'll actually create what we'll call the Bella Family Heritage Book, which is our working product. And that'll not only simplify the complex, estate and tax efficient strategies that you are going to be implementing, but will also provide, information for your family. God forbid something would happen. They have a place to turn and people to call. So I wanted to see if, possibly Wednesday afternoon next week would work for you to go on a Zoom meeting.
It sounds good, but I'm still like really nervous about just switching from a company that I've been working with for so long. And so anything that you can tell me just about like that transition and how you've worked with companies that have, been with someone, my family's been working with them for decades. And so just to kind of like up and change feels a little like,
well, first off, I know you said up and change. That's not what we're looking to do. First off, I also love to hear that you're currently working on your estate plan with someone, because it means you care. It's not only, that you care about your business, but you care about your family. And that's the main thing I want in, a potential client. So we're actually not out to replace your current attorney, because that is not our role. We actually work in conjunction with them and serve as another resource for you, using what we call collective intelligence from all 300 plus families we've worked with in the past, to better your estate plan. And, from my experience, at least,
John, unfortunately, now we got to run, but you definitely, with that answer, definitely kind of soothed any worries that I had. I really appreciate how you answered that, not looking to replace who I have, but subsidize. So I definitely would look forward to a longer meeting next week.
Oh, I appreciate the call, Bella. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy, so I'll let you go, but we'll, how does Wednesday work next week?
Wednesday is great.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's so nice meeting you. All right. I'll tell Sean you said hi.
I will. Perfect.
John, great job. We'll get to the feedbackers in a moment. Bella Verita, who's up next?
Next up, Sean Callaghy, we got Miss Hamina.
Hamena.
Sorry, Hamena.
Yeah, Hamena. Who would you like Bella to be?
I would like Bella to become Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, and
the Formula One player, champion.
Oh, Formula One. So Bella, you're Formula One champ. She does drive fast, Hamena. Let's go, Bella.
All right. So Lewis, first of all, I'm a huge fan. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I want to talk to you because I know you've been an investor for many startups. You yourself have initiated startups that have at their core environmental sustainability impact. And I know that you've been driving Formula One and you've been really pushing for their efforts to become as sustainable as possible. But I also know that you're a person that really believes that no matter what your purpose is, you have to follow it. And I know you're following your purpose. So I'm sure that you're going to honor that I'm following mine. And lastly, you're a huge fashionista. You're a fashion icon. So I'm here to ask you to participate in a new fashion initiative and to build with me a company that only uses next generation alternative leather that reduces greenhouse gases by almost 93%, uses 99% less water, and just the possibilities are huge. Imagine if the leather goods market now is worth $722 billion, what the potential is if we're able to introduce into the market with your help, your influence, and your capabilities in investment, new materials, and new potential into the leather goods market. I'm sure that you and I together, I'm not as influential as you are, given, and I'm not a Formula One champion, but I know that together we could really disrupt the market. So what do you say, Louis?
Wow, that it sounds like you've definitely done your research on me, which I appreciate. And what specifically are you looking for me to do in this partnership?
So I'd love for you to be a co-founder, and I'd love for you to be an investor, obviously. But most importantly, your voice is so impactful and so influential around the world that I would love for you to speak about this more. You're invited to most fashion events. So if next generation materials could become a thing in the industry, we could reduce emissions by almost 70%. So I'd like you to become not only an investor and a co-founder and an ambassador, but also a spokesperson for sustainable fashion for the next generation of fashion.
Well, I love the topic of the next generation of fashion. That sounds very exciting. And so let's, maybe schedule a conversation for next week and we see where we can go from here.
I'd love that. If it were in person, it'd be much better.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Hannah, great job. John, great job. And Bella, I think it's time for the feedbackers.
Time for the feedbackers. Feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. Judges, this is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. So it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback. That's 30 seconds of feedback for either Jimena or John, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a little next step. And that next step could be you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have to have a longer conversation with Jimena or John. I don't think either one of them were that brutal. So maybe the next step would be you'd invite them to Starbucks or your local coffee shop for a cup of joe and a little mocha chocolate latte to have a little bit longer of a conversation. Or cup of coffee just wouldn't do it. So you would invite them to Capital Grille. You would rent a private room. You would get the seafood tower, the nice juicy steak, unless you're a vegan, of course, maybe you're having salad and French fries, but you're not skipping dessert because you want the longest meeting possible with Jimena or John. And if that's still not enough, you would be willing to rent a private jet. Of course, stop and pick up Andrea Catania. She did invite you here, so you'd probably want to take her on your jet. And pick up John or Jimena and fly anywhere in the world to have the longest conversation as possible. So let's kick this off with Smoke. And Smoke, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for John? Just unmute for us, Smoke.
Okay. Hi, John. Great job. I think you know your business, so you did a great job. I think the only thing I would suggest is constructively is I think it was a little bit unclear that you're not there to replace the existing ecosystem of advisors, that you guys are kind of like this quality check and best practices check that has visibility across hundreds of families. And so you're bringing best practices to the table that could be utilized to optimize the existing network. I think if you led with that, it would help you get to a yes faster.
Right.
And Smoke, what would it be? Cup of coffee, maybe a steak at the top of an energy vortex. I don't know, a private jet. What will be the next step?
Are you sending your jet?
Yes.
I'll always take the jet. I mean, if it's yours, especially.
And where's the jet going?
To the golf course with me.
I'm gonna need some extra lessons on golf. So yeah, we could do golf. But look, I think your services could help a lot of families all over the world.
Cool. Smoke, let's go. We're jetting places, Bella Rita. Not picking up the tab for it, but as long as it's provided, Smoke's getting on the jet. Let's go.
Smoke's getting on the jet. Let's go. Stuart, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jimena?
Jimena, in my opinion, was phenomenal. I mean, I'm going to be here when I grow up. Your level of engagement, your homework, the way you basically moved him from one space to another, spokesperson, fashion, everything. I honestly, I mean, I wish I could say I got something critical to say, but I just don't. Was, in my opinion, just a phenomenal interaction that I believe that if I were him, he probably walked away from feeling better about life and in the world itself than before that interaction, which at the end of the day, if somebody gives us their time, we need to give them back something other than, this is what I want, will you do it? And in my opinion, that was phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Stuart, and so next step, cup of coffee, seafood tower, private jet.
Ride in his race car.
Let's go. Riding in the race car, Bella Rita. We're ripping down the runway. Maybe we'll hit Monaco, or I don't know, the Formula One or race championship my son just went to in Spain. Let's go, Belle.
That sounds like a good time. Can't wait to jump in that car. But next up, let's go, Elliot. Elliot, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for John?
I think John did a really good job engaging with you, Bella. I think he was on the, I'd say, more low key in trying to win your business. I would say that, and I'll use it for my own personal example, is if there's an existing ecosystem of professionals, I usually still try to find a way to fit into it. I usually tell people I'm not here to replace your good relationships. I'm here to add to it. So I'm here to be a resource for you. And how can I fit on your team and help you be more effective, in serving your potential new client?
Awesome. Thank you for that, Elliot. And is it the jet, seafood tower, cup of coffee?
Ooh. Well, the jet's too long to talk about what John does, but I think a nice dinner. And if we're down here in Florida, maybe we'll go to Burton's or Warren's.
Burton's or Warren's, Bella Rita. Let's capture those. Come on.
Got it captured. Next up, let's go, Gary. Gary, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Hamina?
Take off your mute.
There you go. Okay, great. Yes, I firstly love the topic, Lewis Hamilton. Notice I'm wearing a Mercedes shirt. Big fan of Lewis. Next year, I guess I have to be a big fan of Ferrari because he's switching. Yeah. But I love that you obviously really like the guy because and a fan because of the passion and enthusiasm. And I love that. And I'm sure that if that really was Lewis Hamilton you were talking to, he'd be blown away by it. How could you not be? So you know your subject and you basically brought to the presentation enthusiasm and, passion to the project. You obviously know what you're talking about. And I think it was great. I think that your next step is to ask for tickets to, watch the race from the pits or something. I think a race kind of meeting would be great,
Yeah, so Gary, I'm hearing like next meeting from the pits, Bella. It's with Gary Jimena and Lewis Hamilton. Come on, Belle.
That's what I'm hearing, Sean. Next up, we got Charles. Charles, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for John?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought John did a great job stating the objectives of what he was looking for. In addition, I did like the fact that he mentioned, that he was happy that they were already considering or looking into financial planning. So that was kind of nice that he acknowledged that part of it. On top of that, I would say that I don't really have any objections to his presentation. I would say though, if it's between the seafood tower, the jet, or the cup of coffee, I have done a lot of business on the golf course, and he sounds like he's a pretty good golfer. So I would throw that as a fourth option, and maybe suggest they go play. It doesn't have to be 18, but maybe play 9 holes and talk it out on the golf course.
Love it.
He's got the putter, the
Try to
wedge,
break your
and the
record.
driver. Busted out, Charles. Come on, Belle.
All right. Next up, we got Diego. Diego, I know you just muted, but now you got to unmute. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jimena?
Firstly, I would have to say that the energy, Jimena, it's just amazing. I love your energy and the way that you communicate and you infuse into everything. You obviously had everything very well prepared, I could tell, which is very helpful, of course. But I think that if you ask more precise and exploratory questions, even if it's a big personality or celebrity like Hamilton, you can get into the needs better and get to be more precise in the offering. But overall, it was amazing.
Diego, next steps. What will be the next step?
For Jimena,
Yes.
well, I think she got the yes on the longer conversation in person. So I would just be a little more relaxed about Hamilton and just ask more about himself and his
But Diego, is the next step like cup of coffee, Capitol Grill, or you
yeah, sorry. No, I would definitely grab a great steak.
Let's go. Diego's got a great steak coming, which brings us to the woman of the hour, Bella.
It does. Miss Andrea Cattaneo, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for John?
John, excellent job. I liked how you initially credited the source of the introduction, and you immediately made Bella feel comfortable, seen, heard, and understood. I think in the first 5 seconds, 8 seconds, I think you made her smile. And you listened, you acknowledged, you asked if she had the time. And I think if there's anything you could have optimized, echoing that, yeah, would have been probably wise to bring up that you're not looking to replace anyone earlier rather than later, but maybe a few more questions about her specific needs so that you could then enter with your heroic, unique identity, your powers, the things that you bring as solutions could have been more showcased once you learned where her, where her issues and her needs were. And I would love the seafood tower with John.
Let's go. Seafood Towers, Bella. Listen, great job to John. Great job, Jimena. Wonderful feedback. And for everyone, this is the price I pay for busting Bella's chops, because now she gets to spin it on me. Andrew, you know this. Bella Verita, it's your time to put the screws to me.
That is true.
Mischief in action.
Yes, Andrea and everyone. This is the time in the show, and Andrea, of course, you know this, where I get to put my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about, because I've been cooking them up as the show has been going on. And ultimately, of course, Andrea, you get to choose what scenario that we go with. You can change anything about my scenarios, or you can come up with something much, much harder on your own. And we're going to see if Sean can flex his influence muscles or not. Andrea, are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right. So option number one, because we've got so many golf fans in the house, I thought option number one is Sean could go from hello to yes with the golf pro Scotty Scheffler, number 1 golf pro in the US right now. He would go from hello to yes with him as Diego, volunteering to do a camping golf teaching course. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but teaching golf over a weekend, but it's a camping weekend, and it would be for charity for the Environmental Institute for Golf. So that is option number 1. Andrea Cattaneo, Scotty Schaefer doing a golfing class in a camping setting for the Environmental Institute of Golf. Option number 2 is I thought Sean could role play Smoke, going from hello to yes with the iconic book publishing company, which is known for publishing poetry. But Sean is going, or as Smoke, is going to ask them to publish his book, but for charity, for a literacy program for underprivileged communities, teaching kids that do not know how to write. So that is option number 2. And then option number 3, Andrea Cattaneo, is Sean would role play Jimena, going from hello to yes with the CEO of Louis Vuitton, which is Pietro Bassari, I think I'm saying that correctly, to partner with her, not only to get Louis Vuitton to use sustainable leather, but to also partner with her on a nonprofit portion of Louis Vuitton to provide a whole nother line of bags versus the sustainable goods. So those are the 3 options that I have for you today, Andrea. Any of those tickle your fancy, or do you got something much harder you'd like to come up with?
They all tickle my fancy, but I have one that's a little bit harder. And Smoke, I would like to role play with Sean. We all secretly know that Sean is not one who's smoked a joint or two in his day. And I would like Sean to be the head of an up and coming restaurant chain that is looking to open some themed restaurant dispensaries with Smoke Wallen, who he knows was in the alcohol business, was in the cannabis business, but has given that up after his spiritual awakening and is now selling healthy oils to restaurants and has no interest in those businesses anymore. He's not into it. But Sean's role is to convince Smoke to consider leaving that industry and joining him because cannabis is going to improve society.
Oh my God. You're worse than her, Bella.
That was great.
So, okay. So got it. Hello. And I'm Diego in this. Who am I, Andrea?
Sure. You could be yourself. Be yourself because we know how you really feel about these things. But you're a version of Sean who has decided to go into the.
Yeah. Perfect. Hello, is Smoke available?
Oh.
Yeah. Hi, Smoke.
Yes.
Hey, it's Sean. We had Sean Callaghy. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. Is it still a good time?
Sure. Happy to talk.
Yeah. So listen, thank you so much for even taking the call. I know this is something that would seem to be completely inconsistent with where you are in your life at this point. And while I'm incredibly grateful, I'm also curious, Smoke, what prompted you to accept this conversation in the first place?
Well, I love your work, and so I'm a fan of you, and so I always have time for good people.
Well, listen, I'm incredibly grateful for that. And can I ask, you have such an eclectic, Renaissance-like, masterful background in entrepreneurship, in all these diverse verticals. What is the current version of Smoke's ultimate mission, vision, purpose? You know, it's your last day on Earth, the last day. And you have the privilege of reflecting back on your life, knowing it's your last day, 100 years from now. And what is it that you want to be seeing, thinking, feeling about your life, Smoke? Please.
That Smoke meaningfully contributed to raising the consciousness of the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And we'll keep it to our 3 minutes. I know we're about a minute and a half to go here. But what prompted the departure from some of the world of cannabis and clubs and recreation into some of your new spaces, please?
Well, I just felt that those industries weren't serving me any longer, and I wanted to spend more of my time giving back.
Awesome. So it'd be okay then, from that place of raising the consciousness of the planet and giving back, that I shared a couple of things that may or may not resonate with you.
Sure.
Yeah. So you met Bella on the show, on the Heart of Influence, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Bella's dad is a 3-time combat tour veteran, 2 tours in Vietnam, 1 tour in Desert Storm. Obviously, those experiences, if you're in a true combat scenario, could be some of the most traumatic, impactful, life-altering situations. Now, Smoke, I have never smoked anything in my life. I've never taken any drug whatsoever at all. And I basically have about 2 drinks a year, a couple glasses of champagne at the Christmas and holiday party. That's the extent of it. So I'm not somebody who believes that alcohol and drugs are an effective and appropriate escape. I don't judge people, but I just don't think it's a great thing to be doing. Just like I don't think like eating more and moving less is great either. But what I'd love to talk about is Bella's dad, who smokes every day. And what he has opened up in my mind and my heart is, for some folks, this may be the ultimate solution to trauma, PTSD, and of course, raising their consciousness. Because as you're well aware, when people are in pain and suffering, it's extraordinarily difficult, if not impossible, to come to a higher place of consciousness. And I'm super open to the conversation that people overly use these substances and dynamics, but through socialization, I mean, everybody wants to build relationships. Everybody needs connection and love. So all I'm simply proposing to you, Smoke, is how would it resonate with you or not, because of your master, your background. You're the guy. If we scooped you up in a private jet and go anywhere you want to go with Bella and her dad to have a conversation where we unpack this business plan and strategy to create restaurants that wouldn't only be for people to smoke, but where we would truly be raising consciousness while supporting people in healthy and effective relationships with cannabis, not only to include overcoming PTSD, but other folks perhaps to eat super healthy foods with the most optimal ingredients, a space of consciousness raising, and the healthiest relationship with cannabis. So my simple question is, Smoke, how would it resonate with you or not? To have that conversation, we're going to unpack a plan that would be massively sustainable, not only through profit, but through consciousness raising. Please, Smoke.
Well, I was supposed to play a very difficult customer here, and you had me at a low. So yes.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that very, very much. And
well done.
We'll schedule the jet and we'll scoop Andrea and everybody up. So out of roll. Smoke, how did I do having a conversation about this topic, please, sir?
You nailed it. That's one of the most, you hit one of the most important aspects of it, because it's not, although there are people that use it to just unwind and to party, and there's an element of that. There's a huge element of health and wellness that is real, and you nailed it in a really tasteful way and brought it into what I cared about, which is obviously part of the magic.
No, thank you, brother. And I am incredibly impressed by you and everybody here today. I mean that sincerely. Don't say what I don't mean. Andrea has this incredible knack. And remember, we've run more than 1,000 shows, that every single show, she brings on some of the most masterful communicators with like super fast processing speeds across the board. And Smoke, of course, you represent that enormously. And thank you for the role play. Thank you for your presence. And how was your time overall, Smoke, on Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence?
Well, I had literally 2 days notice, and awesome. What a great group. And I feel blessed and privileged to meet all of you, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And the coolest name I've ever heard. I mean that sincerely. Thank you for that. Jimena, drop the mic straight up. We have lots of folks in the participant seat. The work you did, John did today, extraordinary. And your prep, the depth of it, the insight, world class. So Jimena, how was your time today on Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence?
I'm just honestly taken back. I'm speechless. It was wonderful to meet you all, and I'm just feeling very grateful.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you and wonderful work, Jimena. Let's go, Stuart. Stuart, thank you for the feedback. Thank you for your presence, your wisdom, your success, your impact. And how was your time today, Stuart, on Andrea's Heart of Influence?
It was impactful, I guess. It was, I mean, that's such a dumb word to describe it. It's sort of like if you're walking through and it's a very foggy day and you're trying to find your way, and all of a sudden the fog clears, the sun comes out, and you see flowers and grass and people and everything. I've met a group of people here who care very much about how they interact with other people. And it has been uplifting, enlightening, invigorating in every way, shape, form, or manner. It has brought it back to my attention as a key priority, not just to be pretty good at it, but to be excellent at it, of communicating with other people and getting their feedback. Thank you for the, seriously, thank you for putting this together. Thank you, Andrea, for inviting me.
No, Stuart, thank you for the power of the precision of your acknowledgement and presence. Thank you for that, sir. Brings us to Diego. Love you, brother. Thank you for everything that you do in the world. And please, Diego, how was your time today on Andrea's Heart of Influence?
Well, Coach, I would have to say that I'm very biased because it's just always amazing. It's very refreshing. Just, Andrea, the relationships that you generate and the loving and the energy and the impact of all the people that are here is just amazing. So very honored to be your guest here. And of course, love this movement and what we do here. I truly believe that it's a superpower.
Thank you, Diego. And you're a man that possesses it. So thank you, brother. Bella Rita, magic feeling is in the air. And we have some other magical guests, please.
I am definitely present to the magic for certain. And let's go with our other participant. Jumping in that participant seat is not easy, especially kicking us off into the participant seat. And to Sean, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence today?
It really was amazing. I just want to thank Andrea so much for, getting in touch with me, and Jesse who introduced me to Andrea actually. And I had no idea what to expect. But it's just extremely impressive how, Sean, Bella, Andrea, as well as some of the participants just have that like next level of consciousness when speaking with people. Really putting the way you guys put yourself into these roles is so incredible. And it just, like I think Stuart mentioned, just how much you guys like are real masters at this. And, it shows how much you care, and it's really, special to be involved with. So I appreciate, all of you for getting me involved with this. And I hope to participate again in the near future, because I'm sure I'll learn something from every single class or every single, show that I go on. I say class because I'm learning, but every show. So thank you.
Thank you. And John, thank you, and truly appreciate what you're doing in the world, because I think people presume all professionals are created equally, and they're not. And what you're bringing to the party is clearly something of profound value. So thank you, John. Thank you. Bella.
Let's go. Our Baltimore fan, Mr. Elliott, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
It was really fun. I actually enjoyed meeting everybody and hearing everybody's background. And John had a good point. You learn a lot from each interaction, and everybody gave me something that I think would be useful to me. I was going to say, Jimena, you did a really good job. I think your smile and positivity came through. And I think you can, even if I wasn't looking at the screen, I could see the smile. And I think that was really positive. I didn't get to critique you. I like that. I wanted to thank Andrea. I wanted to thank Andrea for having me. We met probably 16 or 17 years ago. Had a little break in connecting, and we recently reconnected, which was great. And I appreciate that. And then I want to do one thing for Sean. I want to play the press corps. You have 10 seconds. All right. I'm a first place baseball team. I have a very high priced superstar who has not been performing. Okay. But we've got a top prospect about to be called up, knocking the cover off the ball in AAA. And the fans are clamoring for it, but I've committed a lot of resources and dollars to this superstar. How can you sell me as the press reporting to everybody without pissing off your own clubhouse and walking that tightrope?
So let's go with the rookie is Joe Jones, and the existing player is Chris Xander. How's that sound?
I'm sorry, say again. The rookie is? The
rookie's name is Joe Jones, and we'll go with Chris Xander.
Okay. How about the rookie is Jackson Holiday? And the current guy is Ramon Urias.
Okay. So listen, everybody, I understand there's a lot of dynamics, and we can appreciate what this is. And we have a veteran who's been an incredible player for such a long period of time. And we have a rookie where there's a lot of noise, a lot of clamoring, a lot of energy about all this. These are two extraordinary players. We believe in legacy. We believe in respect. We believe in opportunity. We also believe in winning. Anytime there's an incumbent superstar that hits the spot, there's a little bit of struggle. Anytime that exists, anytime that exists, there's going to be drama. There's no drama here. We have a veteran who cares so much about this club that he wants to give the rookie an opportunity. This is not a permanent shift. This is an opportunity to give our veteran, our superstar, a breath, a disruption of his pattern, a recreation of what is. We will not engage in any drama. You can write all the headlines you want, all of it, but we're united. We're united in peak performance and professional athletics with heart and integrity. That's what this is going to look like, and we appreciate that you got to make stories. Just don't tell the public anything that's not true. And the truth is, we're going to go win. I'm going to find a way to make all this work. I'm going to figure it out day by day. That's where we are. I'm going to give our rookie a start tonight and give our veteran a break. That's where we are, and we'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
I think that was actually really good, very solid. And I'd probably bring you into my office and talk about an extension. because I think you did a good job communicating to everybody how not to piss anyone off. Actually, I thought that was really good. And my only suggestion that you guys could add, I'm calling it press question. So you can, in the future, on your future shows, you can force Sean into like a 10 or 15 second answer.
That's fun. That is super fun. I love that. That is a super fun innovation. Really outstanding. As a fun footnote, I was that guy at some level because when I got to Columbia University, I was a highly coveted and sought after player. And I started the first game, my first year against Vanderbilt with the manager of the New York Yankees sitting in the bleachers. And his son was the bat leadoff, and I ended up batting leadoff. So I didn't replace him fully as a starter, but he ended up batting like eighth. I was batting leadoff in the first game of my college career, and I played every single game as a freshman, all sorts of dynamics with the older guys. I had a 4-year career there. I was a captain of the team senior year. So I am present, sir, to the dynamics. And thank you for the fun scenario. Bella Vreda.
Oh, you're muted, Bella.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Next up, let's go from our golf playing friend. Charles tried to get you a golf pro. Sorry it didn't work out. But Charles, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
For sure, Bella. It was emphatically time well spent. It was fun, informative, and I like to say effective. And by that, I mean, no matter how successful I get or the things that happen that are good in my life, I feel like I always can learn something. And I think this is either my second or third time on the show, and never once have I walked away without having some great takeaways. And before you even went through the list of the participants, I already knew they were going to be all-stars, and it was nice to hear you go through and give everybody's background. And once again, it never fails. Hopefully I'll be invited back again.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for that, Charles. Appreciate you. And please, Bella.
And last but not least, before we get to our co-host, that we know that Friday the 13th is the day to immigrate to America. Gary, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for inviting me. I particularly like the little kind of role plays for the sales thing. Yeah, it was good actually. I think both parties or all parties involved, they did a really good job with different styles, which I thought was interesting. I think you know, the first one was very, very professional and very well thought out, and I thought, oh, John's gonna be in trouble when the counter came back about, oh, we've already got somebody we like and we're using them. And I thought we handled that really well. I've done sales training with Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins as well, and I thought it was very, very well handled, very professional. But on the other hand, we had a different kind of presentation with Jimena, where I think her enthusiasm would make the sale. Actually, I remember Brian Tracy saying once that selling was a transfer of enthusiasm. So you had two completely different styles, and they're both good in their own way, and I think both would be effective. So I thought it was very interesting. And the whole format was actually entertaining and fun to take part in. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Bella, beautiful job. Andrew, beautiful job. I know we're running super long.
I know.
Thank you, everybody, for everything you do. 3 gifts because of Andrea and gratitude for all of your extraordinary presence. First, we have next Wednesday morning, we run our deep practice session where you can play, role play. We don't sell anything there. You get to meet other fine folks like yourselves to up-level this process. We heard from the greats, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins. However, the guy that Tony Robbins put on the stage to disrupt and break all his sales records was me. So we have innovated and optimized a number of distinctions along the way that we are incredibly certain in the different verticals and dynamics has created such a powerful differentiation. So we practice that, and we have a book on it. That's your book also, our book on group influence. If you've ever read a better book in the space of influence, please tell us. I'll read it. I think I've read them all. We optimized and innovated from there. We also offer a business or mission, take your pick of language, acceleration session, where we bring all of these pieces together, not only in influence, but how do you point it somewhere to create exponential differences? And this is the space All those gifts are yours. If they resonate, you can receive them. If not, you can throw them away and not receive them. But on behalf of Bella Verita, thank you all for being here. And Andrea, any 10-second final to everyone. Thank you for the extraordinary job that you did today. We're running super long, but Andrea, any quick final thought?
Thank you. All business is built on relationships, and relationships start with a shared experience. There is no better shared experience, in my experience, than this platform. So thank you so much, Sean and Bella, for making this so much fun and so impactful.
Thank you. Great job, Andrea. Bella, we'll see you soon. We end every show by saying this. I may be physically blind, which I am, can't see anything in front of me, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities of acceleration, no matter how successful we are, no matter how much progress we've made, at some level, those opportunities are right in front of us. But at some level, Andrea, Bella, we're all blind.
And just learning
to see.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Great job, great. Thank you. Andrea, wonderful job.
Thank you.